Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Celebrate Columbus show powered by Johnson Whitkemper Insurance Services. My name is Josh Burnett. As you can see, we've got an awesome guest with us today. I'm super excited. We're here at beautiful Helen Haddad Hall to talk about the arts. And if you know anything about Columbus, the arts are a very important part of our city. So I'm going to introduce you to Sharon Andrews from the Columbus Indiana Philharmonic. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So we grew up together. I've known Sharon for quite a long time, and she's been doing some really cool stuff with the Philharmonic for a while. But for those who might not know you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah. So my name's Sharon Andrews. I grew up in Columbus, and I've been involved in the arts for pretty much my whole life. I sit on several boards for the arts in Columbus, but for the Columbus Indiana Philharmonic specifically, I am the Cabaret program leader.
One of the many things that the Philharmonic does is the Cabaret at the Commons series, and you have a wide variety of talent, nationally known, people from our local Columbus. Can you tell us what's coming up this season?
Yeah, so this season we're really excited. We have so every season, and really we should call it a series, is a series of 3 shows. And so we do 2 series each year, 3 in the sort of winter, spring time frame, and then 3 in the fall holiday time frame. And for this spring series, we have 3 really wonderful artists coming. The first is Marja Harmon, who is a Columbus native.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she is a Columbus East graduate. She also did the children's choir through Columbus Indiana Philharmonic. And so she is somebody who a lot of people might be familiar with, but she's really made it on Broadway. She started off with Cat in a Hot Tin Roof, where she was on Broadway with James Earl Jones,
Wow.
where, for some may know as the voice of Darth Vader.
Right.
And Terrence Howard. And then from there, she did so much. She's toured nationally with Broadway, and she's also been on Broadway. And some of her major roles are, she was the lead role in Aida, as Aida.
Yeah.
She was Nala in The Lion King. And she's also been in the Book of Mormon. But recently, several people that I know and people from Columbus went to see her in Hamilton.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah. She is playing one of the lead roles. She's Angelica Schuyler in Hamilton, and so she came through Indianapolis in December to do that, and we're going to have her here in February at the end of the month here in Columbus doing a cabaret. And what we're really excited about with that too is that we're restarting our master classes. We used to do it before COVID, but we have the artists come in and do a class with our high school students.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And such a great opportunity.
It's such a great opportunity, a really wonderful learning opportunity. So 3 students from each high school, north and east, will get to sing for her.
Wow.
And then she'll give specific feedback, provide sort of some thoughts on how she got to where she was, getting from where they're sitting today to Broadway. And for a lot of students, that's just a really, just a wonderful thing to be able to hear about it, to be able to connect with somebody who's really done it.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited to have her here and doing that. And then coming up after that is we have Stephanie J. Park in April 16th. And she is known also for Hamilton. She was Eliza Hamilton in Hamilton on Broadway. And so she's also done several other things. She was in War Paint, which our very own Mary Claire King from Columbus, they were in that show together. And she was also in The King and I. And so she's somebody who is really, she's been doing in the business for a while, and her style, which is also something that is really fun when artists come, is you get different styles. We know that they sing Broadway when they're on stage, but when they do a cabaret, they get to kind of do their own thing. So you really get a sort of sense of who they are as an artist. And for Stephanie, her thing is sort of R&B. That's her style.
Nice. Yeah.
And so she and I talked a little bit about kind of what she likes to do. And she said, I'm not kind of that big, huge voice. I'm that more intimate sort of like R&B, jazzy voice. And I was like, that's perfect. It's just a really unique way to sort of see another artist. And then in May 14th, we have Marisha Wallace. And Marisha is internationally known.
Wow.
She's actually from the West End in London. And she has also been on Broadway. And so she, most recently on Broadway, she was in Cabaret with Billy Porter, and she was very, very critically acclaimed for that particular role. She also on the West End has been in Dreamgirls.
Wow.
And won several of the sort of their version of the Tony Awards, the Laurence Olivier Award. She won several awards for her work there. And so it's so cool, I think, to have, such wonderful talent come
right here.
Yeah. We like to say we're bringing Broadway to Columbus, but there's something so unique too about being here and doing something that's sort of this world-class entertainment right here at home. And the artists, when they come, they really love it because they get to sort of see Columbus, and we're really unique. And I think when they get a chance to perform here, they see that and they ask about, hey, what's interesting here? What should we go see? And it's always really fun to sort of see their reaction because they see how unique we are.
That's awesome. And I'm thankful for you and many others who help them see it.
Yeah.
For those who have never been to the Cabaret at the Commons, what's it like?
Yeah.
Can you help? I want to help people. I know that there's some people watching this that have been there before, but for those who might want a fun date night idea or to go just listen to some great music or a performer that's world famous, what's it like?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's a fun night of live music, which I know for a lot of people is like, that's just something that draws. I think on the surface level, when you first hear about it, it's like, okay, it's Broadway. Well, maybe that's not for me, and that's okay. But I think the really unique thing about Cabaret at the Commons is that it is sort of a more intimate setting. Typically when you go to a concert or you go to a show, you're in a huge auditorium, and there are thousands of people, kind of watching something on a stage that's pretty far away. At the Commons, we hold these at the Commons, and we really only fit between 300 and 400 people. So you really sized down. But what's really kind of fun is that you're not sitting in a seat, sort of like in a theater style seat with, in rows. You're sitting at tables. And you can usually have a bar there, so you can, get a drink, and it's just sort of a more intimate style. Perfect for a date night, perfect for a group of friends to go out. It's something that my husband and I always do. We leave the kid at home and we go do this sort of thing, and it's just really fun. I think that sort of intimate setting really allows you to connect with the artist who's on stage. And that's sort of the beauty of live music. It's like it can never be that again. It's like you as a patron create the environment with the artist for that one night, and that's it, And so, all of our cabarets are one night only, and so it's just sort of this really unique experience to be able to go and see somebody who, if you were to have seen them again or have already seen them, you've never seen them this way.
Yeah. And some of the people that have been drawn in over the years, huge names, either they've already been world famous or kind of at the beginning of their story, right? And then they go on and you're like, hey, I remember when they came to Columbus.
I remember when they came. Yeah. We've had, so Cabaret at the Commons has been in existence this is the 11th year.
Wow.
Which is incredible to think about. It actually does not feel like it's been that long. But we've had so many incredible people. For those who know Broadway, some of the names that they're gonna know: Megan Hilty, Ramin Karimloo, Laura Benanti, Rachel Bay Jones, Norbert Leo Butts, for those people who do know. For those who don't, some of those names are people who've been in Rent, people who were in Wicked, people who have been in Glee, have been in Frozen, but also names like Rumor Willis, who's Bruce Willis's daughter. Some of these names that, you couldn't really imagine that they would come here. And I think that that's something that is really unique, but then also that it's just really fun that we're able to sort of host these people in a place that surprises them.
Yeah, and then, what we talked about earlier with Marja Harmon coming back to Columbus, and Mary Claire King has been back to Columbus, and so we can support, these performers that have gone on. They started here, and they've gone on to do amazing things. Only in Columbus, right?
Yeah, only in Columbus, and that's the thing about the arts in Columbus. I think that this community has collectively created an environment, a really supportive environment, with a lot of opportunities to allow young artists to have an opportunity to try things, and really sort of hone their skills and talents to be able to go on and do a lot of things. And, we talked about Marja and Mary Claire, but there's so many people from Columbus who've gone on to do absolutely wonderful things. And it's really amazing when you see kind of like the fruits of the labor of this community, going out and doing it, because Broadway is, the way that my husband would say, it's the Super Bowl of of the arts.
I like the way Patrick says that.
Yeah.
Well, Sharon, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the Celebrate Columbus show to talk about the Columbus Indiana Philharmonic and the Cabaret at the Commons series. For those who, they've heard this and they're like, hey, I got to come and experience this for myself. So. How would people take their next step to come to this season? Yeah,
so if you're interested in coming, we unfortunately already sold out, and I guess I should say fortunately.
Yes, exactly.
We sold out of Marja's Cabaret.
Well, that's great. That's awesome.
So early, because people are so excited for her to come. But we have 2 more coming up. And so if you'd like to get tickets, you want to get them fast, we do sell very quickly, but they are available at thecip.org.
Perfect.
And you can also call the Columbus Indiana Philharmonic and ask questions if you'd like, but those tickets are available now.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we want to make sure to do a follow-up and talk much more about the Columbus Indiana Philharmonic, because from my experience, you all are so involved in the community, from very young age to seasoned veterans that have been playing their whole lives. And, we're sitting in beautiful Helen Haddad Hall, which was gifted by a family, the Haddad family, which I recently was just talking about, Harrison Lake Country Club, that, have invested in, so many people have invested in the arts in this community. And, you grew up and got to be a part of that investment, and now you're, carrying that on and investing in yourself. So thank you for all you do.
Absolutely. It is very special to be able to, work on the arts from this side, having grown up and sort of reap the benefits of all that this community has to offer from that perspective. Being able to give back is just so fulfilling. And so I'm so grateful for everyone in the community who gives their time and talent and funds to making sure that the arts continue to thrive here, because it's just so ingrained in what Columbus is.
So true. Well, Columbus, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode with Celebrate Columbus. Sharon Andrews, we're talking about the Columbus Indiana Philharmonic. Make sure to get your tickets for the Cabaret at the Commons. We'll see you next time.